It's all right. We're live, Renata. Don't worry about it. The set's just falling down. Oh, my God. You've got one job, woman. One job.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Paranormal Party Podcast with Renata Daniel from Newcastle Ghost Tours and Anne Rekovich from Oz Paratech. We'll be sharing stories, interviews and lots of interesting things about all that is happening in our paranormal world. Thanks for joining us. Grab your glass of wine, sit down, relax, and enjoy.
You're getting messages. And his ghost may be heard as you pass by that billabong. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And his ghost may be heard as you pass by that billabong. Ooh. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Oh, look at the 3 cubes on development. Welcome, everyone.
We're back!
Aren't you glad we're all back? We're frightfully good. Are you all frightfully good tonight?
The top of my head isn't there.
I don't know what's happened here.
What's the top of my head?
Just as we press go live, this one gets tangled up in the chair, pulls the set over the top of us. There's shit going everywhere.
Oh,
So we're back in full form. How's that?
aren't you glad nothing's changed?
Hi Gabriella. Hi Lorraine. Hi Maxine. Is the church in Newcastle on the Hill haunted, Renata? Maxine wants to know.
Oh, the cathedral?
Cathedral? Hell yeah.
Yeah, go and check out the cemetery behind it.
Yeah, good symmetry.
Mm.
So welcome to another episode of Frightfully Good.
Have you missed us?
Oh, I
Have
know.
you missed us?
It's been a little bit sporadic over the last couple of weeks.
We've just been a tiny bit busy.
And ill. We've been ill on top of it, which has made it very difficult. And you've been helping your daughters move, and they both moved on the same day. Bless. Or no, one day after each other.
Yeah.
So,
It's all good though.
anyway, while we're just doing some banter to kick off,
Because we're waiting for people to come on.
We're
because
waiting
that's
for
what
people
you
to
do.
come on.
When you're professional, you
Oh,
wait.
professional. Could you please do us a favour? Could you just share our page to somewhere, particularly like a group?
Someone you don't know.
Yeah, So I keep saying share it on one of those Newcastle buy, swap and sells or Sydney buy, swap and
No,
sell.
you're not allowed to.
They'd scare the shit out of them. They wouldn't know what we were.
Yeah, you're not allowed to.
Anyway, share us somewhere because we've been getting a little bit disheartened because our numbers have been down. Oh, I know you love us, but we just need to feel the love because we're needy like that. So, Renata, where have we been? What have we been doing?
Oh, we have been to Perth and we had an absolutely freaking-tastic time in Perth. Hello, Perth, gorgeous people. If anyone's watching, we love you to death.
And I went off keto for a week and it was fantastic. Oh my God, I had a cream puff from a French patisserie that had salted caramel through it. Oh my God, I died and went to heaven. If there was a heaven. Anyway. Carrie Ann, how are ya? How's all the packer animals going? The para kitties and llamas and
Parapandas.
pandas and the para packer.
Yeah, so we had an absolutely fabulous time. Now, we went down to Perth
Thank you,
because
Naomi.
we were asked to do
Hi,
some
Sandy.
seances down in Perth. And we ended up doing six or seven.
No, we did
Eight.
Get the numbers right.
We did eight.
Seances in 4 days.
And then we did another full day workshop after that. And we spent most of the week surrounded by mediums. Medium after medium.
No extra larges, just mediums.
After medium after medium.
So we were actually working in front of our peers. And it terrified me because you guys know I'm a paranormal investigator. And for me to actually admit that I've got some ability or talent in that area terrifies me because my logical brain just screams, no, it's all bullshit. But the evidence that we're getting is blowing my mind. There's something going on. She's Facebooking.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to find where those questions are. Where were the questions? Where did you put them on?
The questions. No, you put it on. Have you been bullied online or something like that, or what did you hate about the paranormal community?
Oh, so it's on my page.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you started that one off.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did the 8 sounds. Now the lady we stayed with, she's gorgeous, has a dedicated seance room which is down a curly windy staircase into what was her garage, and she's got it completely blacked out with a seance tent. Now we couldn't bring our own tables with us, we had to use what was there, and we were using a big plastic table, you know, like your poolside tables, which normally have a hole in the middle for an umbrella, and you could probably fit 4 people comfortably, 6 if you're all buddied up together. So we used one of those, 4 legs, plastic, on not on a wooden floor, and those who know us know we like our wooden tables on wooden floors, but we were willing to give it a go. We just had to trust our spirit team, so to speak, that this was meant to happen for a reason. Well, it's meant to happen for a reason, Renata. So we went over and we were sick as dogs. It was really difficult for us to have the energy. This one had just come down with it. I was just coming out of it. But we wanted to have a great time with these gorgeous people who had booked the thing out within weeks of it being announced.
And so dedicated and so open-hearted and open-minded to everything that we had to present. So it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience, and we hope we will be asked to go back.
We have been asked to go back. Yes. So they are actually all very heavily involved in the spiritualist church. Mm-hmm. Which we don't see so much of over this side of the coast. Yeah, and I was spun out by the water being on the wrong side. It did my head in for a couple of days. Living on the coast, for me, if the ocean's on the right, it means I'm heading north. But there, the ocean was on your left, which meant I was heading north. So to me, to have the water on the right, I felt like I was heading north, but I was actually heading south. And it fucked with my head. No end. Anyway, back to the seances. So Karen, who hosted us, hosts some of the biggest names in the physical mediumship field.
Hi, Donna.
So like the Kai Mugaji, you might have seen some of his full-figured materializations that float out of cabinets and lights. And I mean, we've been to some of his seances. I can't explain a lot of the stuff he does. It really is a bit of a mind pop. And who was the other one? Gordon Garforth, who has face transfigurations where his face moves and changes and your loved ones get imprinted over the top. His fingers elongate out into alien-like. And I have seen that. That's pretty amazing. Also, Gary Mannion was also over there doing physical medium seances as well. And Medrado, who, I mean, I've got one of his artworks here. So he paints in trance. I don't know if you can see that. So if you come up close, there is tiny little brush strokes. And the thing is, he doesn't actually use paintbrushes. He uses his fingers. He uses sponges. Now, Renata came with me to this. He cracked that out in about 7 minutes. Mm. And he just did artwork after artwork after artwork. And all whilst he's going like this in trance.
That's
and I'm
really
going,
good.
Yeah, it was. I'm right though, aren't I? And I'm not making fun of him. That's what it looks like. We did do some live feeds on Frightfully Good, so you might be able to find them from the past. So all these big name physical mediums have been over there, and table tipping is a form of physical mediumship. So we went in knowing that it had the best of the world go in there. We're going, it's just us. We're just normal. all as normal as you can be, doing what we're doing. I was really shit scared. But every seance was fantastic.
It was really good.
I like, even us, we were coming out going, where the fuck did that just come from? How did the table move like that? We were just... Oh.
Now, I guess the whole idea of that was to push us out of our comfort zone and to get us into a place where we were feeling vulnerable and we were feeling... and so therefore we had to be honest and forthright and just be ourselves because we had nothing else. So all we had
and I won't fake it. I'm not going to fake it for no one.
All we could
I'd rather
do
give them
was
their money back and
present us and the way we do things and trust that that would be enough.
And trust the process.
And it worked really well. So we're just very, very, very grateful for the opportunity we've gone over and done.
Am I allowed to say what Karen said?
No.
Okay. She said we were very, very good. I won't say anything more than that. But she herself came into... We had a private class for her family, and she has not...
She's never had a family sit at a seance
to
begin with, so...
She has not had the activity on the table with anyone that's come there, particularly with validating messages like what we produced. The table slid over to the wall and proceeded to climb the wall at the door. And that's where I came off the table at that stage and took a photo in the red light. Now, this is all done in light. We don't do it in the dark. We do it in red light. So everyone could see where everyone's hands were. There's no secrecy. That's one of the things that does my head in a bit with physical mediumship. Everything's done in the dark because light affects ectoplasm. So that was our session in Perth, and everyone over there just loved what we did. They were very embracing of us, and they're very excited for us to come back and do it again. The workshop we did, I think we've turned them all into paranormal investigators. Introduced them to some of the gadgets and the gear. And now, next time they want us to do a paranormal investigation with them. So we're going to do a workshop in ghost hunting and then take them out somewhere to do an investigation in Perth.
And we did manage to snaffle about an hour to go to Fremantle Prison, which was awesome. And we had a really, really great tour guide who took us through the...
Is his name Ross?
Yeah, took us through the oldest part of the jail.
Convict
so
history.
He was talking about convict history, and it was super cool. Really, really cool. Love to have an opportunity to go and do some investigating in there. If you have ever been to Fremantle,
thanks, Kim.
Jail, and
Tinker.
been able to do any investigation, let us know. Pop up a comment.
Yeah, if you know a good place to investigate, the ladies over there are going to try and find somewhere for us, but it'll probably be another 6 months before we go back. Hi, Kaz! I was so excited, Kaz, to see there was a safe in there. I know it's cute, there were some old coins in there, but some gold would have been good.
Yeah.
Anyway, this week's topic. Are we on to that now?
Hi, Leanne. Hi. And that's another place we were. We kind of travelled down the coast.
Oh, that was before we went to Perth.
Yeah, a little bit prior to that, and did a private little investigation. And so we've been everywhere.
Claire, we're going to Ireland.
Yeah, we've been everywhere over the last couple of weeks, and that's why we haven't been able to come back and be on the normal vodcast that we do on a Sunday, because we've just been so busy. Hi, Charmaine. How are you? How is Tassie? How's
Bit
Tassie?
chilly.
Hi, Tinker. But tonight's episode is all about what is up your goat in the paranormal community. And so we're going to let things fly in a delicate and nice way.
And we don't want to mention people's names.
No names.
All right, we're not here to
names.
name and shame. That's not what this is about. It's more raising awareness of the problems within the paranormal field. And this is part of what our talk is about at the Oz Para Expo, which is on in September, which is 5 weeks away this weekend, I think. I do believe.
Have you got your tickets to the expo at Parramatta Jail yet?
Yeah, Para Jail.
If you haven't, by all means go and buy those tickets, because you need to go.
And our talk will be the last one of the afternoon, so make sure you come in the afternoon to see us.
Because it's just going to be special.
Oh, God, yes.
So you've seen us actually be posting up questions and polls. So
just for a second.
we will be talking about some of the polls that we have been putting up and some of the extraordinary feedback that we've received from those polls. We have been astounded at some of the different things that have come through that we weren't expecting. So we're putting questions out there. We're asking you to reply. We are gathering the evidence from that. And, you know, in many of the questions, we've actually had 400 people respond, which has been really, really great, not only from Australia but overseas as well. So we want to present some of that evidence to you so that you know what people are actually thinking like out there in the field, which is very, very incredibly interesting.
And some of these polls that we've been doing has actually surprised me with the answers that have come forth.
Yes.
Anyway, look at that very first person who made a comment there.
I know.
People confusing paranormal entertainment, for example, tours, with paranormal investigations. So that's where somebody will be running a tour and you have some really serious paranormal investigators come along and then they're whinging and complaining that they can't go off by themselves to investigate because they thought it was a paranormal investigation. And how can you do this with 25 people on the tour? And that was one of the gripes that came up.
Yeah, so I guess when you're looking at it from the perspective of someone who is providing a tour, like me, I have to take into account everything that the site provider tells me I have to do. So I can't just rock up and go, hey, can I have your site for 2 hours and then do whatever the hell I want to do? I still have to follow a strict guideline to what the site owner allows me to do. Now that's really, really important to remember because I can want to do a lot of things, but I cannot provide that service unless the site manager or the site owner says I can. So I have to follow the site owner and what they tell me. I also have to pay site fees. I have to have my own insurances and coverages, and I have to make sure that I also look after a duty of care to everyone that is there, from the least experienced to the most experienced. Now that is 100 degrees of difference, or 360 degrees of difference when you get a whole stack of people
from New Zealand.
And so it is really, really difficult to provide something that everyone is going to be happy with. And yes, there is a difference between an investigation and a tour. A tour is often far less spooky in that there is a certain way that it is run. Normally talks a lot about history, normally has a few spots where you talk about ghost stories, and there is a wide range of age group that can go to this, from people that are quite young, so young teenagers, to older people, of course. When it comes to paranormal investigation, I guess what you're expecting is to have time out where you can do a little bit of your own exploration. But what we have found is that even when we say free time, or it is a paranormal experience, the greater majority of people that come to these events have had absolutely no experience. None. So you give them free time and they go, well, what are we supposed to do? We've never done this before. So again, no matter how many times we have tried to say this is for the experienced paranormal investigator, 9 times out of 10, 70% of people turn up and they have never done a ghost tour, let alone a paranormal investigation before. And that just is what it is. There is not much we can do about that. So this is what you guys have to understand when you come on some of these experiences. Unless it is specifically stated that it is a small group of people doing a private investigation and you are welcome to join in, paid or unpaid,
talks a lot.
Then yeah, you are in with a group.
Yep. Now Tony's just put up there, I've been with Chip Coffee, so I wonder if you've been with Arizona or Texas. Yes, I know Chip. When he came to Australia, he was doing some filming here and I was assisting with some of the filming, and Chip's a gorgeous, gorgeous man, and invited the team I was with at the time to head over to an event as his guest. So we went to the Stanley Hotel, and as it was only me out of the group that went, and I took some friends with me and my husband, and I introduced Chip to Vegemite, who said it tastes like ass wipe. So he doesn't like it, and he did like the Tim Tams though. So yes, I've been into Tombstone, Arizona. We've investigated there at the Birdcage Theatre, but not Texas. Texas I would like to go to.
So we're just going to read a couple more of the things that
right. Another one here is that everything is evil or demon. Was an investigation where there's a group of ladies who kept feeling evil and darkness everywhere. Yes, one of the gripes of the paranormal field.
Look, there's not much you can do about that. Again, if you're with a group of people, everyone is going to be at a different stage and a different level. They are going to be influenced by what they have seen, what they have heard, what they have been brought up to believe. And once again, unless you strike a very small group where everyone seems to be on the same wavelength, you are going to have to put up with those that sort of believe that there are far more demons out there than truly exist.
Yeah. And also a lot of that is religious bias. I've been watching a lot of TV, and it's a lack of education. That's all it is. They need to read some more and understand what causes those sensations and feelings. There's not necessarily a demonic energy, but it might be something that's actually man-made that is making them feel uneasy. Or it's fear, because they don't have knowledge. Now, Kaz mentioned on the live feed there, oh, I love Sedona. I love Sedona. Oh my God, sat in a vortex. So, Tony, where are you from?
Tony, let us know. Tony, love.
What was I up to? Sorry, I just saw Sedona and lost the plot. Kaz was talking about people faking evidence. She hates people that fake evidence. Me too. Why do they do it? Look,
we're in a field that can sometimes be described as entertainment, and it's what you're paying for sometimes when you go on a ghost tour. How many times have we turned up and said, welcome to the ghost tour, blah, 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 and people say, can you guarantee we see a ghost? So there is an expectation out there that something spooky is going to happen, and if you don't deliver, the likelihood is they are going to give you a bad review and say, don't go and see them because they're shit. There weren't any ghosts on their tour.
Tony's from Sedona.
Hello, Tony.
She's from Sedona.
Hi, Tony. So the thing is that often it is performance anxiety. If it is also a big business or big company that runs a particular site, they may have an agenda that they say to their tour
Claire's
guides.
from Ireland. Claire.
Hi, Claire.
Whereabouts in Ireland are you from, Claire?
There. I'll just continue.
You just keep talking while I'll just have some moments over here.
They kind of say, please hype the group up because they're here to do a ghost tour. They want to be spooked. So do something to make them scared. Right? So, likelihood that it may well happen on a tour.
All right, so Anna Schmidt.
Don't tell them the names.
I won't read that one. I'll just read the next one. It says bullies.
Okay, so have you been bullied being in a paranormal team or a ghost tour business? Have you suffered from the bullies? And interestingly enough, this was one of our questions, our poll that we ran, and we had a surprising result. And there were far less people that were actually bullied than we
Still far
thought.
too big a percentage.
Oh, yeah, still a big percentage.
Far too big a percentage.
But I think you'll have that bullying percentage anywhere and in any business that you get.
Don't bully. If you've got a different opinion, you are more than entitled to it. But you don't have to...
keep it to yourself.
have to then say nasty things about other people because it doesn't match your belief. That's bullying. So, anyway,
I think social media has created a platform where that is seen to be something that can be done on social media pages, where bullying is quite rife, and I know anyone who might have young kids at school know that this whole bullying thing is really, really bad, especially with the younger kids that are just so anxious and stressed out because they have to face that every day at school. So for us adults, we should have grown up and out of that, but it doesn't seem to be happening.
Then we've got ones that they steal locations after the original team's year of hard works have built up locations and activity and publicity.
Yeah, wow, that's a big one.
Hard.
Yeah. How do you own a location? That's the thing. And do you have a right to own a location?
If you've got a contract with the people who own the location, then you own the location. But you've got to get that contract signed because that's the only way that you can own the location. Like I know there's the Australian Pioneer Village that can be hired out by any team who chooses to go in there. But it's not owned by a particular team. So when you have a location that you think is your location, you need to get a contract to say only you can organise people to go in there.
Or you alert the site owners and you have a long-winded discussion about where you stand with regard to that. So you need either something in writing or an understanding between yourself and the site owners as to how they approach other teams coming onto that site and doing work, and whether you have first preference or whether you're just one of everybody else. And look, let me assure you that from a site owner's perspective, and I am not a site owner, but I'm making an assumption, that they're out to make money, to save their site.
Yeah.
They rely on a site being hired. So the likelihood of them saying, oh, look, we're not going to hire it to anyone else because you come once a month or once every 2 months and do a tour and we make a couple of $100 off you, is just not going to roll it, because they literally need money every week and a number of nights every week or a number of days every week. So they are going to be out there, and if someone says, look, I've got a sweet deal, I can bring XYZ in and do something for you, the likelihood is that that site owner is not going to be someone who sticks to you.
Tony, send us a private message. We'd love to chat.
They are going to go where the money is, and that is just, again, the way it is. You're going to have to put up with it.
What about people who just do it to take money or pump their egos? Paranormal investigation is a study of the unknown, and to genuine people it becomes a lifelong passion of sharing, teaching, exploring and discovering.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, but, and when you say but, it means that the first part of the sentence you can get rid of, because the only thing that makes any sense or importance is the thing that you say after the but. Thank you very much. But this costs money to do. No one has a sugar daddy that sits there and throws money at them. Well, maybe someone does, but we don't.
I know
and
one.
So it costs money to do all of this sort of stuff. And it also, as a paranormal investigator or someone who dedicates their life to do this, we spend every single moment of our days studying and researching and doing all of that for free as well.
We live and breathe it.
So you have to be very careful where the line is for ego and where the line is that says this is a business and a genuine business, just like any other business, like the fish and chip shop down the road or the person that's selling clothes in the clothing store, or, you know, whatever service that you're providing, you demand payment. So therefore, for the service that you're providing as a ghost tour provider or paranormal investigation provider, you have things that you have to pay out, as in site fees, insurances and everything, like your petrol, clothing, everything else. And so you are demanding really a payment that in most cases is quite reasonable when, you know, push comes to shove, because we certainly don't have money in the bank.
And we don't have day jobs either.
We don't have money in the bank after the end of all of this.
This is what we do.
So, you know, unless you're demanding $1,000 a person, or you're doing, you know, charging incredible amounts of money for your services, then most paranormal investigators around the world are quite poor. and their first thing is the passion and love for the field, and the second is, yeah, we better get some money out of this, or just we won't be able to do it. We just won't be able to do it.
I was talking to Renata about this the other day. It's like some hobbies are expensive hobbies. If you like sailing boats, sailing yachts, if you bought a yacht and then rigged it out and kept the upkeep and the marina and everything, it's an expensive hobby. Racing cars is an expensive hobby. There's money attached to it, and you have to pay that money for that hobby. There's no way of getting around it. Same thing with paranormal investigating. Sometimes you have to put your hand in your pocket to pay for things. It's just the way it is. And like, we've got people coming to us all the time saying, I want to do some ghost hunting. I want to be a paranormal investigator. I don't even know where to start. Then we put a course together. It takes us hours and hours, days to put the courses together. We run the courses and we ask for money. That's just how the world rolls.
Now, Maxine has an interesting question, and it follows on to something else that I've been talking about this week as well. She asks, how do you know if a place is haunted? That's a workshop in itself. But also, and this has been something that has been coming up recently on different pages where people have said, I've gone to a place and it isn't haunted. There is nothing there. Don't go. Don't waste your time.
It's for the gullible.
It's ridiculous. Don't do it. Don't be stupid. Someone's making a bucket load of money out of it. They're all assholes. Will I continue?
Yeah,
anyway.
Let's get to the point.
Anyway, if you look at proper paranormal investigating, normally when you are on a site, you go back and back and back and back to gather research and evidence before you even attempt to say whether a place may or may not be haunted. Now, if you don't believe in ghosts, it's not going to be haunted no matter how much you try.
Or you have to research records, newspaper articles, to see if there are any reported stories of hauntings at the location. Well, and then you go in to prove or disprove.
Yeah. But going once for 2 hours and saying, oh, I didn't feel anything or I didn't see anything.
It wasn't even scary.
Is very egotistical. Or egotistical.
if the shoe should so fit.
The shoe should so fit. Because you are taking a small snippet. Oh, look, that's my nose. A small snippet of time,
contouring?
a small snippet of time in the lifetime of that site.
Like Maitland Jail, for example,
and you are
is
saying
150 years of incarceration.
Yeah, and you go on for an hour in there and you go, I saw shit.
It's not haunted.
It's not haunted.
They're just telling the stories and making shit up to make a buck.
Yeah, that's crap. Now, everyone has an opinion. That's fine. You are very welcome to yours. But just saying that just going on a site and expecting something to happen in the small period of time you visit there, the likelihood of that is a big fat 0. All right? So if you then feel that you are professional and important enough to say, well, my opinion is after that 2 hours that nothing happened then, so nothing happens at all, ever, past, present or future, you are really making a blanket statement over something that really...
A sweeping statement.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You
Get your broomstick out. Okay. That's all.
So you're very welcome to say, while I was there, I didn't experience anything. But that is not to say that other people, when they are there, don't experience something or have something relevant to say, or there is no history, or that that there is history to say that something has happened in the past. So just don't be too judgmental over your hour or 2 hours on a spot.
Here's another one. That aggression is the only way to get spirits to interact with you.
Oh yeah, well that's been a learned thing from TV.
That's
I'd
television.
Say. That's TV.
Come and show us what you got, you pussy.
Yeah, we don't do that, do we, Anne?
No, we don't.
No.
Although I do have a go with the boys in the jail, so to speak.
Yeah, but we're in a jail.
Yeah, I know. And I got in trouble off the guests because I was speaking dirty talk.
Oh no. And we got a letter, didn't we?
We did. The spirit box, every time we put the spirit box on at the jail, it's like, fuck, oh, cut, all the way through. Flap, flap, flap.
Yeah, so...
I swear, non-stop on the spirit box. And when we go to other locations, we don't get that talk. It's just...
Yeah, so that again is something that people have a preference for or they don't. You know, however you approach paranormal investigating is the way you approach it. That is your preference. And some people prefer, and geez, it makes good TV when you yell and scream and carry on at them, doesn't it?
But in saying that also, sometimes the reason why you do things is to get a reaction. But if you're doing that from beginning to end, it's the same, and you just stop reacting to it. So it's better off doing something like that for a particular reason. Like if somebody gets pushed or shoved, then you turn around and say, what do you think you're doing? How dare you do that? And do an EVP session. So you get some responses.
Yeah.
No, don't just stir shit for the sake of stirring shit.
No, that's crap.
Oh, everything's a demon, yep. When people believe they are always right. Oh my God, yes, and they don't grow. I hate when people don't have the ability to say, I don't know. Or I haven't thought about that. I'll read up and find some more. But, you know, or I might be wrong. God forbid you admit you might be wrong. Like at the workshop that we did last weekend, the first thing I did is I've walked in and said, I'm not an expert, but I'll share what I know.
Yeah, that's all you can do. You can only share what you know, and you only know what you know to this point in time. But if you learn something in the next 5 minutes, you can change.
Yeah, and you're able to say, look, for me, one of the best lessons I have learnt in this life is the power of saying, I fucked up. That was wrong. I'm really sorry. I really got it wrong. I thought I was doing the right thing, but I got it wrong. It's such a freeing thing to admit that you're wrong. So don't ever look at it as a weakness. It's more of a strength to admit that you stuffed up on something.
It's what they call courageous, actually, and it is a sign of allowing yourself to be vulnerable. And the thing is that people are not affording themselves vulnerability anymore because they do see it as a sign of weakness. And one thing that people are very afraid of is showing shame, being shamed or seen to be shamed for something that they have said or done.
Now, this goes in with somebody else's comment. When you are having an experience and you might sense something, smell something, and it could be psychically, it could be physical that you've felt, and then you take the courage to voice it and say, I'm having this experience, and then other people shoot you down.
Or they roll their eyes, hold on, they go.
And particularly other psychics and mediums doing it to each other. My theory is that when you're working in the spirit world, sometimes the spirits might show something to one medium and not show it to the other medium. It doesn't mean that there's one who's right and one who's wrong. It's just one's not having the experience. It doesn't mean that person's lying. It's just a different experience. So yeah, tread gently with people who are actually voicing the experience that they
Yeah, look, again, there's a fine line between someone who says I'm sensing something and someone who tends to take over and it makes it all about them. So we've all had those sort of people where all of a sudden everything is about them, and it makes it really hard. But
right, okay. Now this could be us. We could be in trouble for this one. Doing a group investigation, table tipping or similar, minimal activity happening, and experienced person intervening and tells you, oh, it's you, watch this, and the glass goes nuts and they laugh at you. I don't think we've ever laughed at anyone. Says, you need me for it to work. No, we've definitely never done that, and then walks away. Yeah, look, I've had experiences with people who go, oh, it always goes nuts when I'm on the glass. Oh, it always works when I'm on the table. That's a red flag for me. I mean, I know for a fact that I have sat down at the table when things haven't been happening, and I've put my finger on the glass or hands on the table and sat there and nothing's happened for me either. Just the way it is sometimes. But yeah, that's a sign of ego. So, yeah, good to watch people like that. Psychic abilities, yeah, I'd mention that one.
Our batteries drain when a ghost is near. Ouija boards are evil, and all old mansions and abandoned buildings are haunted.
Although I did have an experience with the batteries being drained. I put new batteries in out of the packet. They weren't out of date. Put them into my camera and they were working, and turned the camera off. Walked to the next location, which was 5 minutes away, turned the camera on, and the batteries were flat. So it could have been the actual camera that was faulty in some way or other, or I have used it since and had no problem. Oh, my pet hate. Ouija boards are evil. My pet hate.
Well, they are. They are.
They're not. They're not. People's overactive imagination, or children or drunk people playing with it and then watching movies and shit. And it's not the instrument that's the problem, it's the people wielding it.
Hi, Kathy.
Sorry, that's my pet hate. Anyway, those who backdate their experiences as a paranormal investigator. I've been paranormal investigating since I was 2 months old. I really started 6 months ago, but I have been doing paranormal investigation for years.
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah,
that's okay.
Just to make themselves sound far more impressive. The other one I hate is when people combine their years. So, like, I'm on my 9th year, I think. How many years have you actually been doing paranormal investigation?
I've been doing professional tours for 10.
10. So they go, between us, we've got 19 years of experience. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever.
I have said that, though.
I know, and I cringed when you said it. Oh, yes, thinking you're a professional ghost hunter because you got all the flashy lights and gadgets that are currently popular.
Oh, yeah, well, you do.
I've got a K2 in a spirit box. That means I've got it now. I'm ready. Sabotaging people, locations, teams, often with the intent of personal financial stains and gains.
Oh, well, we're also affluent, aren't we, from this
yeah,
stuff?
I look,
really?
and yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've had people try to say bad things about us to make us lose the location. It didn't work because the people knew us. So,
Ouija boards opening portals.
Oh yes, and I like this one. Thinking that everything that happens in the spirit world is the spirit world. Thinking that everything that happens is the spirit world, and not allowing for human energy and contribution. So, yeah, and like when there's something going down, it's just, oh, it must be a ghost. No, somebody just farted in the corner.
I smell sulphur.
Oh, the sulphur, there's a demon present. Run! Run for your lives. Oh, dear, no.
Oh, dear.
Oh, look, this is a good one. I will attempt to channel aliens, said practitioner. Goes into details about what she thinks the aliens want to say. Okay, what she says, this is what I think the aliens are going to say. Then goes into a trance and speaks alien in squeaks and things. And her translator says, oh, they're saying this, that, and something else, which is what the practitioner said she was expecting them to say.
Look, we all have our way.
We finally got to it.
No, we all have our way of communicating with spirit. Don't put them down. Just put it out there.
We've got a good one. We finally got to it.
Don't put it down.
We finally got to it.
Just don't. You never know.
Gonna say the word.
No,
I'm gonna say the word.
No, you never know where we're going to go with all of this. Who knows What alien starship we're going to be connected to?
No. We've got our next topic. Things that people hate in the paranormal field.
Just go right past it, will you?
Orbs. We did a whole episode on orbs once. Blessed be.
Now, if you look at the live feed I did from Grossman House yesterday, you will see
orbs everywhere.
A bucket load of orbs.
Particularly, I took my jacket off and flicked it around everywhere.
Please go back and check out Grossman House live yesterday.
The need for protection. Face the fear that sponsors the need in the first place. Yes, I like that. If you're going into a haunted location to have an experience and you load yourself up with protection, what do you think is going to happen?
Shit all.
Nothing. Because you're blocking yourself from having that experience and your fear levels are so high that I remember seeing a TV show that Attila did and...
Tell them who Attila is, please.
Oh, sorry, Moonlark Media. And he did a show based on fear. And he had investigators hiding in various locations to see how the newbie investigators, the normals, they had normal people investigating like with cameras, how they would react if they saw somebody. Anyway, they were saying that there was somebody hiding around the corner there, like the person didn't know, in this abandoned building all by themselves, and they're doing the video blog to camera. And they were so focused and fearful that they only looked at the camera and just barely where they were walking, that they didn't notice there was somebody standing right next to them. They didn't see the real person. They were standing there. Because they've got this vision on, because they were so fearful. Clear yourself afterwards if you're worried about that sort of stuff. I like to go into a location and say, I'm here to have an experience. I thank you for your, hopefully your interactions tonight. And then at the end of the night, I say, I now remove all permissions. You do not have permission to follow me home. I thank you for the experiences I've had, and cut the cord, so to speak. And it's worked. You've been hot.
Yeah. Also, there's this issue of fear and fear. Are you doing it because you want to feel the fear and be fearful and be scared? Or are you doing it because you are trying to learn something new about yourself and, you know, have that ability to really get into the site and explore what is going on. So this level of fear that we all have to deal with as investigators is something that we really need to get a handle on. And
bye, Tony.
If you are terribly fearful, then you have to step back and ask for help with regard to how you
Tony, we're talking in Moundsville in West Virginia if you want to see us.
How you can combat that fear before you go into another investigation or go to a place that you're really fearful of going into. No matter how many bits of crystal or whatever it is that you have, that you have put your faith into,
and put into every orifice,
will not help if there is a whole lot of fear that still sits in your heart that cannot be controlled.
Talking too much and not listening enough.
Oh, yes.
Silence is so golden on a paranormal investigation. I couldn't agree with you more. Just being able to sit in the environment and listen.
We often ask people to do a silent vigil. And for paranormal investigators, these silent vigils and sitting quietly can be something that we do for really long lengths of time. And just asking people to actually be in a place for 3 minutes silence is for them often too hard. Now, it can be a lot of nervous giggling.
Yes,
and I'm so scared of where I am that I have to talk because the silence is too frightening for me. But it does put off a lot of other people who are trying to be serious when it is a silent vigil.
Carol was at Grossman House last night with her sister. She said that her sister was fearful. I think they all did pretty good. I didn't think there was anyone that was overly fearful last night.
Yeah, they did really well last night.
Yeah, no,
really
they did good. Now, just before we go, make sure that you have subscribed to our page, liked our page. Make sure you follow the subscribed. You know, there's a button there that says notify me when they go live. Make sure you've activated that, because we're going to get very busy again, and there is going to be a lot of fun stuff happening. Also, we've got a workshop coming up. We've just announced the new seance dates for anyone in Newcastle, but we've got a seance parlour coming to Sydney. So we're going to put that up on the page, and also a workshop in Sydney on oracle cards. So that's coming very shortly. I've still got some more. We're not finishing. But I just wanted to give you the heads up on those couple of things, because we've been so involved that we forgot to do our promotions.
Yes, so we do have an oracle card workshop coming up, and that's on the Sunday, the 15th of September, and it will be at the Wallacia Development Centre in Western Sydney. So if you couldn't come to the oracle workshops that we sold out in Newcastle, this is an opportunity for you to come to Western Sydney and sit in on the Oracle workshop.
So look at the events. They're not up just yet, but they will be up really soon. The
next
Oracle
day or two. One is up.
Oh, she's good. And the Seance in Newcastle is up as well. That's on the Seance Parlour page if you're interested in that.
And yes, Sandy, 2 weeks and Norfolk Island.
Oh, yes, Friday week we're going to be in Norfolk Island. So that's where we're going to make sure you've got that notification thing on, so you can see us. The history there is mind-blowing, and the people are so beautiful. Now we've got another one here, lack of respect.
Ooh. Now, is that lack of respect for other paranormal teams or for the dead?
I would say all of the above.
I'd like $1 for everyone who said to me, "You make money off dead people."
Oh, I know. It's so disrespectful. But,
I know.
And all those people that are funeral directors, shame on you for making money on dead people.
Yeah, and all those people who have done historical novels and
and the church organist that plays at funerals. Shame on you for making money on dead people.
Shame on you for writing books and talking about history. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you, because we should forget everyone that has died. Just forget about them.
Don't talk about them ever again.
No, never again. Never again.
Yes, we work in dark tourism. That's who we are, and that's what we do. And we love the dead. We are so respectful
and we're going to own it. We are going to own it. Sorry. So if you don't like it, piss off.
This is my full-time job now. But, I sell paranormal equipment to people who like to go hunt in the dark and investigate in the dark. That's my job. I run tours with this gorgeous one here. And we save our pennies so that we can go and travel and investigate haunted locations around the world, so we can share it with you guys.
And talking about the dead and talking about making money off the dead, we both went to a most amazing thing at Maitland Jail yesterday that was created and run by the local high school there. And it was about women at Maitland Jail. And these beautiful young performers...
They're in year 11.
...were talking and going through the history of some of the women that were at the jail and telling their story through dance and through theatre. And it was so emotional and so breathtakingly beautiful.
And sometimes funny. They did a great job.
And those young people stood there and went, "We don't want to forget what you went through. We don't want your history to be forgotten. That is why we are giving our voice to you right now and telling your history." And this is what we are all about. This is what making money off dead people is all about. It is so their stories, which are just as important as all of ours, do not get forgotten. Even the normal people who had everyday lives, who struggled, who went through hell, and each and every one of those stories is amazing. Those stories need to be told and never forgotten. That is how we pay our respect. That is how we humble ourselves and say, we are not the most important people that have ever lived. There have been people before us that have done amazing jobs, and we need to tell those stories too.
One of the things that gets me too is that people go into a location that is supposedly haunted and they assume that dark, negative things have happened in there. That there was rapes and murders and you know, people being bashed. There's horrible things here. Like we've had people come into Miss Porter's house and go, oh, I sense a negative energy. There was harm done here. Miss Porter's place is the most gentle, beautiful place. And the sisters that used to live there were spiritualists. They were into all of this sort of stuff. There was no violence. So just be aware of the histories of the location, and not everything that is a lingering soul or spirit is necessarily a dark energy with a dark story.
But we have to go because it's 8 o'clock.
Oh my God, okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us for so long. We've had so many on here tonight from all over the world.
Thank you so very, very, very much for your time. We know time is so precious to everyone, so you guys spending your hour with us makes us very, very grateful, and we are so heartfelt. With emotion that you have been here with us. It's just so amazing. Please, please, please make sure that you follow us. Thursday night, hopefully, we will be able to do our free tarot card reading.
Newcastle Theatre Company, we're doing a fundraiser. Please, we need bums on seats there. This is every single cent's going back to the theatre. They've got to do all these updates on their building codes for fire restrictions and stuff. They need a shitload of money. So we are going to run our Frivolity and Fortune show, which is Renata reading the tarot cards, me on ukulele singing and being an ass, maybe naughty cards as well. But it's on Tuesday week.
27th.
Yeah, Tuesday week, 6:30 to 8, $30 a person. It'll be a lot of fun. Those who want to stay on afterwards, we're doing a paranormal investigation of the theatre, and there are reported hauntings in there from 8:30 till 9 till 10:30. So it's an extra $30 to stay on and do that. Only 16 people. So please, I know it's midweek, but please, please, please come support us. If you're in the Newcastle area, come join us. Have